Hey guys, it's Friends Plays. I waited a few seconds there before starting my intro because I didn't want it to cut off. Anyway, so oh, no, not right now. So anyway, today I was going to do a quick tutorial, and it's something that probably won't be relevant for that much longer. 1.3 is coming out soon, and I figure you guys probably should get this done before that happens. 1.3 mobile is in beta right now, if you were not aware of that. And yes, we've been waiting for it for years, and it's finally happening. So, if you want to do anything that you can only do on 1.2, now is the time to do it, especially if it's a mobile exclusive. So, I'm going to be step by step teaching you how to kill the Dungeon Guardian. It's not that difficult in mobile. It might take a couple tries, not that much. And it doesn't really require endgame gear if you don't want to use endgame gear. I'm using it. You just have to be like the requirements are. You have to be in hard mode. You have to have a world that is that it contains a snow biome, and that's basically it. Um, so the first step, and I'm not going to necessarily record every step of this because they're pretty easy steps. You'd be able to do this yourself. So the first step is you want to set your device's date and time to somewhere around like February 14 or 15. That's where the Valentine's Day event takes place. And once you do that, log into the game, and your NPCs will have little heart particle effects. That's how you know that it's the Valentine's Day event. And so go to the merchant and you can shop. And at the end of the one of these slots at the very end of his list of things that you can sell are these things called heart arrows, and basically they freeze enemies that you shoot with them, which doesn't sound that cool, except for the fact that because the Dungeon Guardian is cross-platform and the heart arrows are a mobile exclusive due to the uh, exclusive uh, part of the event itself, because none of the other versions have events. Um, that means they kind of like forgot to make the Dungeon Guardian immune to that. Well, that and because they don't ever update mobile, or at least they haven't been updating it at all. Um, Now you're able to basically just freeze the Dungeon Guardian in place. And that's one of the reasons why the Dungeon Guardian is so hard to kill, is because he's very fast and it doesn't have that much health for a boss. I mean, comparatively, the Destroyer has somewhere around 60,000, but and he only has 10,000. However, he has super high defense, so you can only get 1 or 2 damage on a critical hit in on him. So obviously, ranged is the best option because it's rapid fire. Um, the thing is, though, is how are you supposed to freeze him in place and not use a billion arrows? So the easiest way to do this, and you could just, freeze him in place and keep shooting him with the arrows and shooting him and shooting him and shooting him until eventually he would die, but you have to have a lot of arrows for that. So what I did was I went to a different world that has a snow biome, waited until it started raining, meaning it was like a blizzard in the frost biome, and then you wait around for these mobs, um, that are they're called what's it, snow golems? I don't remember. I think it's ice golems, and so they look like kind of tall humanoid creatures made out of ice, and they shoot lasers at you with their eyes. If you don't have gear like past maybe the hallowed set, you might have a little difficulty killing it. It's not that difficult. It doesn't do that much damage. It's mostly just it's sort of like a paladin, but it doesn't deal that much damage. It just has a lot of health. And so let me adjust my mic right here. So anyway, um, then once you have the thing that drops, which is called a frost core, I believe. Let me check. Yeah, you can make frost armor basically, Now, if I can check the crafting recipe for that real quick, that'd be great. Because I don't remember exactly how to make it. All right. So it's hallowed bars. All right. So you have to have a couple hallowed bars, and yes, I do duplicate my stuff. I'm not gonna try and hide that. Um, Go over here. You can duplicate your frost cores because it takes a little while to gather enough to um, make three. Oh, there's a pinky slime. I was going to say the main thing is you just have to wait for the rain to start. That's the main. That's the main waiting in this. All right. So what the frost um, set does is it will inflict the frostburn debuff on any um, thing that you shoot or hit with a melee weapon. And that means that if you use, well, I have frostburn arrows. Those can inflict the debuff, but it's almost impossible to switch between the arrows and then like shoot a couple stun arrows and then a couple frostburn ones just to keep him with the debuff. Um, it's very tricky, and it takes a while. So it's easiest to just get the armor. It's worth the wait. Um, by the way, if I didn't already mention this, he's not immune to the frostburn debuff, so it'll do like 20 damage every second, which is a lot considering he doesn't have much health. So I have my pre-made world just for this purpose. I might die once or twice, but hopefully we can get it in the first try. So make sure that your the arrows you have equipped are heart arrows. I recommend using a bow that has multi-shot, but like it's up to you. You could use a single shot bow. It doesn't really matter that much. Um, the goal is to give him the debuff, not really inflict that much damage. Um, and so this is around where he spawns. I can't hear the game, so let me real quick turn on my. There we go. Make sure to turn on your volume so you can hear it when he spawns. Oh, here we go. And now we just shoot him with the arrows. And you might have to move a little bit because if you like miss for a few seconds, then he's gonna move towards you. But for the most part, you can just sit there, wait for the effect to take its toll. Remember, the stun effect does not last very long, so you're gonna have to just continuously shoot at him, or you might end up having a mishap. And almost done. There we go. Now, the bone key, if you guys don't, I would assume you guys probably already know this, but the bone key summons this little pet. It's not really an item that's meant to be gotten. It's not really meant to be obtained very frequently. It's a pretty uncommon thing to get because obviously it's very difficult, or it should be very difficult to kill the dungeon guardian. But the Skeletron head pet, dungeon guardian head pet, whatever you want to call it, doesn't actually do any damage, but it makes you look like a badass. Um, Another thing I would say is, I get freaked out that there's another one coming when I'm killing one with the pet on. What I was gonna say was, um, it is possible and it happens fairly frequently that multiple dungeon guardians will spawn, and to avoid this, um, well, I mean, the first thing to do to avoid it would just be let them kill you and then do it again. The second thing would be just get out of the dungeon as quickly as possible. If you can see, I've excavated most of the top of the dungeon just so I can get out quickly and keep another one from spawning. But sometimes they just spawn in groups to begin with, and there's nothing you can do about it. I've killed, I think, 3 at a time once. That was my record. But it's not easy. You end up having to move a lot, and it's really only good if you have like fish on wings. So, I not rec- I would not recommend trying to do that at first. But yeah, so anyway, that's all for today. I don't really have anything more to say. If you are if you were unaware of this, because I know there's probably been tutorials made on this method before. If you are unaware of this, then please leave a like and tell me that what I did well in this tutorial and what I didn't do, and what you'd like to see some of. I just got back into Terraria, so and we have a little bit left, probably a couple months left until the update. So maybe we could do another like the last 1.3 playthrough. That would be kind of fun. Um, just anyway, till next time. I'll see you later. I'm France Plays. Thanks for watching.